So any climber watching this will know that climbing performance is kind of like a bit of a balancing, juggling act between all of these different variables that kind of have to line up in harmony for you to climb your best and to feel good on the wall.
Something that I realised quite early on in my climbing career, everything was acting upon my climbing. It wasn't just, oh, I've trained to do a one-arm pull-up, I'm really strong, I'm going to be a good climber. It wasn't just, oh, I've got the most beautiful footwork, I'm going to be an amazing climber. Or I'm just really psyched today, I'm definitely going to do it. I realised that all three of those things had to play together in harmony in order for me to be the best I can be. We've got our physical aspect, our technical, and we've also got our mental and psychological aspects. We've also got this wonderful scattering of tactical elements that, especially to perform at a high level for athletes, for example, are really important. But generally, if we focus on these three areas of the pie chart and make sure not one of those is really dropping down and we're just excelling in the one that we're really good at, then we balance out that level playing field and we hopefully become the best we can be.
Mental strength is something that we talk about a lot in climbing, and as you'll see in this video, the psychological side of climbing kind of influences every part of the performance pie chart. As Bea puts it, mental strength is the most important piece. The mental health benefits of climbing are something that we're really passionate about, so we're really excited to share that this video was made in collaboration with Climbing Out of Depression, a mental health charity founded by Bea that she's been building with her team over the last few years. Bea's going to take us deeper into that story later in the video and explain why creating accessible mental health support through climbing matters so much to her and how you can get involved and support. But for now, let's get into some drills to address all areas of the climbing pie chart.
We're going to do a couple of challenges that I've enjoyed doing literally from day one when I started coaching. It was one of the things that felt like a really intuitive way to challenge your mind as much as your body. So hopefully we're going to learn something technically, because you have to climb it quite technically in order to achieve the goal. You have to use strength in order to physically do the moves, but if your mind doesn't believe you can do these moves, we're not going to get off the ground. So the first one we're going to do, in the corner. The challenge is to try and get both hands palming on the ceiling without pulling on any of the holds. You can use anything you like for your feet, but the idea is I want you to problem solve and discover what you need to do to get to the top.
I can push.
You can push, you can palm, you can push down on holds, but what I don't want you to do is grab a hold and haul yourself up. Yeah, nice. Keep exploring all the different ideas, lovely. This is an experiment that you can do as many times as you like. You can ask me questions if you want. I'm going to try and let you learn from doing and feeling to start with. Nice, mate, that's it. Amazing. Easy, but she's still got it. She's still got it.
It was fun. It forced me to be in my body, not in my... Well, it forced me to be present, I guess.
Amazing.
I think at the beginning, I was a bit like nervous about messing up while, you know, we're being filmed and stuff. And then I was like, oh no, I actually can't think about that right now because I can't do this.
That's amazing.
And so then I had to be present and focused.
I mean, you smashed it. I was kind of hoping you'd struggle a little bit more so I could get some coaching points in, but I mean, just like that, everybody. So now to increase the challenge here, so if the individual is fabulous first time, we have to make it harder. So we're only going to learn something in that pie chart if we're just pushed a tiny bit into our challenge zone. So the challenge for Jules now will be, okay, I needed to use maybe, I don't know, I forgot to count, 4 of the handholds to push on. So what if we now said, I'm going to try and touch as few handholds as possible and see if I can still get to the top. Again, it doesn't matter if you don't, because you're going to learn something whether you do or not. Do you feel like you need chalk on your hands?
Maybe.
Let's go, because it is incredibly hot and you're still in a t-shirt, which is amazing.
Look like a mime artist.
Oh, look at that. You are sorted. Okay, so now we have increased our tactical and physical advantage here by increasing the friction. That again improves confidence. So chalk is actually a really good tactic. Yeah, you got it.
No.
That was great. What you did with your hips there and what you did in turning both in, you solved the problem. I didn't have to tell you anything. And now learn from what you just discovered there, and you can then believe next time. I felt like I had to do it quite dynamically, but actually it worked. So when you're more relaxed next time you try that, it will be even more effective. Really nice. Yes. Sweet. So that was only 2 handholds that you had to use that time.
It's quite scary.
Okay, so it's supposed to be.
Okay.
So the idea is the more we challenge the physical and the technical, the more challenging it is to trust that we can work this out. We're not going to slip. We are strong enough to do it. We're technical enough to do it. But you just taught yourself a technique that increased your climbing IQ, and I didn't have to do anything. So everything you're doing here is already within you. You're just realizing that you know it. This is one of my drills that is perfect for a warm-up exercise, a game to play with a friend, especially one that has maybe a different ability level to you, an introduction to a beginner. It's a really awesome increase your climbing IQ and have fun game that has no almost measurable competitive grade orientated level, because even if that person on their first go uses every handhold to press to the top, if they then use one less handhold on their second go, they've achieved something and they've won.
Although you're not meant to carry a chalk bag when you boulder, are you? Because otherwise you
as long as it doesn't have a
brush on
clip
it or anything.
Yeah, no brush, no clip. As long as it's just like a bit of thread or string or something, that's fine. Do you want to borrow mine? I've got one in here.
Well, let's see how we go.
Sure.
I mean, I have so much on me.
Do you know what we're doing? No hands climbing now, so you don't need it. In fact, it's all pretty much no hands based stuff that I teach. Okay, awesome. So we have done this challenge. It's super hot and hands are slippy. So we're going to now eliminate the hands even more so. Yay! So this technique or this drill is again equally physically challenging, technically challenging, and mentally challenging. Your challenge is to climb this pink climb using your hands as little as possible. So the angle of this slab is probably going to enable you to find a few balance points where you could totally take your hands off the wall. You might even get a few little head taps. But it's technical in that it really encourages us to practice our nice open hip rockovers. So what I'm looking at now is our nose over toes theory, keeping the knee wide towards the little toe, trying to get the belly button landing over the pushing leg, over the pushing toe, and we're going to see how much we can do our over and up theory on this climb. That's it. So even if you need a tiny little hand on there to help you find your balance point, that's totally fine. It's all about finding your balance point and working out how you can push with that leg as much as possible. Really nice. Nice, Jules. Could we get a little hands on head jobby going? Lovely. Nice, mate. Just challenging. How much do I need? How much do I think I need versus how much do I actually need? Beautiful. Can you feel your legs working hard? Awesome. Hey, another head tap. Well done. Good job. Love that. You caught your balance and then you continued to push. Beautiful. So my main thing on this is both elbows touching the last hold. Yeah, well corrected with that knee. Good job. Yeah, that elbow, that angle's a bit mean, isn't it? But good job, good job.
I felt like I was using the holds a lot.
Okay.
And I think, so the perfectionist part of me was having a go at myself.
That's so
for doing that.
Yeah.
And I felt like I was cheating
Okay,
the whole
so
time.
your perception of my wording of try and use the holds as little as possible is really interesting. So maybe that's something for me to be aware of when I'm working with you, that if I give a very broad challenge, you will see success as being, that means I need to use them not at all. In my mind, I'm looking for, are you pushing with your legs because you're in balance? I know that you need to do this because of the angle of this wall, and that's totally legit.
Yeah.
This is really interesting for me. So I'm going to try my absolute hardest to focus on just the push. How much can I feel going through my legs? How much can I feel going through my hands? And I'm going to try really hard to pretend I'm not being watched and filmed. It's hard. Okay, so I could feel my thumb doing loads of work there, so I'm going to adjust myself. It's hard, this, isn't it, Jules? Psych. That was really good. I'm really glad I set my intention at the start, because if I hadn't had that vulnerable conversation to camera, I probably would have gone into that. And as soon as I missed that first foot and had to start using hands and stuff, I would have been like, God, you can't even practice what you preach. But because I had set that intention of, I'm just going to do my best. And I did. And I enjoyed it. And I was focused, and I appreciated your guys' support, and it was an enjoyable process. So if we now go in with the intention of the pressure gauge. So I think of it as if a pistol squat is 100% legs and a pull-up is 100% arms. When you do this, have a little pressure gauge in your arms, your biceps, your forearms. If you feel like you're pulling maybe 20%, then okay, maybe that's 80 through the legs. That's great. Anything that's over 50 in the legs, awesome. We're trying to get as little pressure gauge to the upper body as possible, but it's by no means a failure if we have to hook onto the wall a little bit and hold ourselves in. Okay, so how can we get those leg pressure gauges working as much as possible? So we're challenging ourselves physically, technically, and mentally. Brilliant. So good, nose over toes. Beautiful, Jules. Really nice. Love that, 100%-y. Very good, you navigated that hold really nicely. Yes, so nice. Okay, new rule, you only have to touch the top with one elbow. It was silly to say two, it's just going to throw you off balance. Nice. Awesome. How did that feel?
Much better.
Amazing. So did you notice you having kinder thoughts to yourself that time?
I didn't feel like, the one before I felt like I was constantly failing, even at the start, because it took me a couple of times to get it, and I was like feeling self-conscious about that. But then this, I had a scale that I could understand, like, oh no, it felt like it put it into perspective more.
Amazing. That's super helpful for me and for you, hopefully. And you being vulnerable and admitting to me, I had not helpful thoughts during that. That's huge.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well done. Amazing. So this is actually one of my favorite drills of all time, and it still amazes me how 20 years into my career, I'm still doing this with pretty much every human I come across. Those that ask me to teach them to climb, not everybody. I do it myself wherever possible. I think it's probably one of the fundamental movements in climbing. If we cannot efficiently and effectively rock over and use our lower body to the best of our ability, it's like the bread and butter. We're not utilizing our body in the easiest way we can possibly do, because we walk around on our legs like this all day long. We may as well transfer that strength into our climbing. And if our brain believes we can do it, we are far more likely to do it. But guess what? We have to practice that in order for our brains to believe we can do it.
Also, what I was thinking, you said something earlier about believing in yourself that you can do it before you get on the wall. But I think what's nice about like the activities that you set is that you don't even necessarily need to think of that. It gives you something small and manageable to think about and focus on, and then that comes sort of organically later, or you, just the inner voices, whether good or bad, get put aside because you're just focusing on the thing, and it frees you up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That is the intention of these drills. It's to almost trick someone into learning everything they need to learn to increase their climbing IQ, but to challenge them in a fun way. So I always like to use fun to trick people into getting better physically, technically, and psychologically. Our third and final drill, that is also a perfect addition to a warm-up if people wanted to use this as a warm-up that addressed all of these areas of climbing. This third drill is now a dynamic one. Doubles. The intention of this game is to increase confidence in releasing both hands at the same time, and it's basically forcing you to move dynamically. The other exercises were forcing us to move really statically and learn to trust palming and no hands balancing on single feet. This is now kind of the opposite story. So I'm just going to go for it, have a bit of fun, and my only goal here is to release both hands at the same time and try and re-catch them at the same time as well. So I'm setting my base. It doesn't matter which holds I use, because the only goal of the game is to release both hands at the same time and catch both hands at the same time. And I'm thinking, what do I need to do with my base to achieve that? I think I can reach that with both feet on and safely do that. And I might do it on the way back down because I find that fun. Cool. Do you want to give it a go?
Sure.
Sweet. Beautiful, Jules. Lovely dead point there. Amazing. You literally did everything that I just did, and I didn't tell you how to do any of them. How did that feel from what you expected, what you learnt, what you then managed to achieve?
I didn't expect it to be so easy.
Okay, cool.
Versus the other two exercises and engaging with there wasn't any noise in my head at all.
Cool.
So yeah, which was unexpected.
Do you think that had anything to do with seeing it being executed before?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
But that took me by surprise, because often I like to try things out myself.
Yeah.
And can get frustrated with being shown things because I don't feel like I know what I'm doing, if that happens that way.
Yeah.
But it was actually really pleasant.
Very interesting. Okay, cool. I love that. Okay, so this time I'm going to give you a next level, because you did that so easily. I'm not going to demonstrate this one. I'm going to give you the time to explore it. Mm-hmm. So I would now like you to do it in as few handholds as possible. So we're increasing the size of the move. This time you can use any feet you like, because I'd like you to set a base that allows you to generate quite a lot of power. There was nothing that you did in the last one that needed any changing. For other people who maybe are struggling more with that dead point, add in a clap before you grab the hold, and that's going to give you that intuitive understanding of how you find a dead point. Challenge yourself if you want to. Oh, hello. I love that you just fully went for that.
Well, because the last time I think I did it in 3, so I felt like I had to try and do it in 2.
Okay, that's super interesting. Okay, we'll talk about that when you come back down. Okay, so this is very interesting for me to observe, because you just described then that you had a thought of, I should do it in 2 because I did it in 3 last time. You did it in way more last time, but there was a moment that you had an expectation on yourself. Is that right?
Well, I mean, unless I was going to go for 1, it felt like the only thing I could do was do 2 to fit the criteria of doing less.
And there's nothing wrong with that criteria, and that is the challenge, and I love that you were aiming for that. But your brain took you away from your body and set your sights on, I just need to do it in 2, and you forgot to set your technical footwork high enough and physical drive through those high feet in order to achieve the goal that you'd set yourself. So i.e. you let your feet stay too low and you were about a foot
I lacked confidence.
too low.
I figured, I was like, they need to be higher, but I got cold feet about it, and then,
And I love that you still threw yourself at the wall. Amazing.
So wait, do you think I can do it?
Absolutely. You just needed to get your feet higher. And you went to do it, and then you came back
got
down,
scared.
and then you went boom. It was beautiful commitment. I loved it. So do that level of commitment with your feet in the correct place, and you'll smash it.
So they have to be here?
Yeah.
Does my right one have to be higher too?
You tell me. What does it feel like? You know how tall you are. Remember, you can use any footholds you like. It doesn't have to just be pink.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Beautiful. So in setting your base in the correct position, all comes back to our triangles and our pyramid theory, you then allowed yourself physically to generate enough power and height to reach that hold.
Yeah.
How did it feel in your mind that time?
Yeah, good. And also then I was more, I don't know, there was like a mini scan happening when I did the first move of like, oh, what's happening here and what's working? And I was like, oh, I really like pushed my butt in and up. So then I knew like to focus on that when I went for the final move as well.
Beautiful. Great learning.
Yeah.
Awesome. So remembering the criteria of any feat, and that's what I love about these games. There are no rules other than the rule that there are any feet.
Okay.
You're allowing yourself more options for learning. If we start using what the route setters have given us, it limits our opportunity to learn what's right for our body. So I love that you used that orange one there, it was perfect.
Alongside her endless enthusiasm for delivering coaching to us all this year, our friend Bea has been really busy off the wall with a charity launch that we really wanted to share here on Hannah Morris Bouldering. I invited Bea to talk a little bit more about the founding of the charity and what it means to her after the session, but as a heads up, Bea does talk about mental health, depression, and some topics that you might find sensitive, so just a heads up of that.
The charity that I founded nearly 7 years ago now, it's called Climbing Out of Depression, and it was founded in the honour of my brother's girlfriend, actually. Knowing the journey that Katie Kemp was on at this point in her life, I believe that this is something that she would have loved to have done herself. And the last blog that she wrote was about helping other people who were suffering in a similar journey to her. And she didn't quite make it to making that difference. But I kind of realized that maybe I could, and we could honor her life and hopefully give people the opportunities that maybe she didn't have at that point. So our goal as a charity is to pay for people who have been prescribed by their GP or another mental health charity that climbing would be beneficial for them. We fund their first 4 one-to-one coaching sessions with a mental health first aid trained instructor at their local wall. At the moment, we're trialling this out just at White Spider, where we're kind to be hosted today. But our mission, if we can raise enough money and put the word out there, is to offer this all over the country, in my dream, all over the world.
If you'd like to know more or get involved with climbing out of depression, then any support that you can give, I'm sure would be greatly appreciated, be that a donation or a share, support on social media. Everything that you need to know, all the information you can find via their website, which I'll leave in the link in the description of this video.